Gentlemen, my name is Hector Dominguez. I'm here on behalf of the Cook County Assessor's Office. We have a very jam-packed kind of informational, kind of just an event today that we're going to keep trying to give you as much information as humanly possible. So I pray that you just bear with us. There's a lot for us to cover, but I'm going to try to make it as fun as humanly possible. So before we do anything, I want to let everyone know that if you have any questions, there is going to be a Q&A at the very end of the event today. If you are like me and you just need to write your answers down or your questions down, because you'll forget, go ahead and do that. Drop that in the comment section, and then we'll go ahead and jump into some of those if we have time at the end. But I want to cover as much as I can, so I don't want to waste any more time. So Will, my man, if you could please go ahead and add that presentation. We're going to jump right into it. So thank you guys for joining us today. I'm here on behalf of the Cook County Assessor's Office. The gentleman that you see on the screen right now, his name is Assessor Fritz Kagi. He is the assessor of the entire county. So what does our office actually do? Well, we do a lot of different things, but we're going to cover three of the most important things that we do. So first, it is our job to put a value on your property based on what's called a mass appraisal system, right? There are 1.9 million different properties, almost 2 million different properties, and this is the best way for us to do so. We are also responsible for giving you discounts, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Discounts, also known as exemptions, right? We are also responsible for the appeal process. This is where you, as the taxpayer, say, hey, wait a minute, I don't agree with the value of my property. There's no way my home is worth this much. If it was, I would sell it back to you right now, right? Lastly, I want to cover some of the things our office does not do. So we are not responsible for your property tax bill. We are not responsible for mailing out or collecting the monies of your property tax bill. We are also not responsible for the taxing districts or the taxing bodies. I'll go over that in a couple slides of your property tax bill as well. So I want to make sure we just let you know we're responsible for the value, the discounts, and the appeal process. So we have 8 different exemptions we're going to talk about. So let's jump right into it. So the first one we're going to speak on is the homeowner exemption. Now, this is our most common exemption. This is the one that almost everyone qualifies for. So in order to qualify, you must own and occupy your property as of January 1 of the taxable year. So because we're in 2024 paying 2023's taxes, we're talking about January 1st, 2023. Now, if you have a new construction, please let us know. This will cause your exemption to be prorated so that you can receive your discount, right? Because obviously if it's brand new, you cannot, or you did not own and occupy it January 1st. This exemption is automatically renewed going forward, so you only have to apply for it once, and then it will automatically roll over for you, which is awesome. The next exemption we're going to talk about is the senior citizen exemption. Now, this is for anyone who was born in 1958 or before, and you owned and occupied that property anytime within 2023. So it could have been January 1st, 2023, or December 31st, 2023. This exemption is also automatically renewed going forward as well. So as of right now, the homeowner and the senior citizen exemption are both automatically renewed going forward. Now we're going to get into a little bit more complicated exemptions, right? Things that require a little bit more from the taxpayer. So the low income senior citizen assessment freeze, also known as the senior freeze exemption. In order to qualify for this, it is a little bit different. You must have owned and occupied that property for 2 consecutive January 1s. So that's January 1, 2023 through January 1, 2022 through January 1, 2023. You must have been born in 1958 or before, and you cannot make more than $65,000 as a total household income. This exemption is not automatically renewed because it is income-based. However, if you are part of the Aid to the Aged, Blind, and Disabled program, the SNAP program, the LIHEAP program, the Benefit Access program, or the Senior Citizen Real Estate Tax Deferral program, instead of giving us your income to providing that information, you can just give us your award letter from them, a copy, please. That way we know, because if you met their income requirement, then you met ours as well. The next exemption we're going to talk about is the persons with disability exemption. This exemption is automatically renewed going forward, and it is accompanied by an additional application. So you have the initial disabled persons exemption application on our website, which you can fill out as a taxpayer. But there is an additional document called the P-Tax 343A form that you want to give to your physician or your optometrist, because our office has zero authority to determine if you are disabled or not. Correct? All right? That doesn't make sense. That's not what our office does. That's why this additional document is very important. In order to qualify, you must have been disabled at least within the taxable year, so in 2023, and you must have owned and occupied that property at least by January 1st, 2023. Veterans with disability exemption. This is my favorite exemption. There's a lot that goes into this exemption, a couple of policy changes. If you are married to someone who's receiving this exemption and they were to unfortunately pass away, you had to have lived in Cook County at the time of death in order to benefit off of that exemption. I hope that makes sense, because there are some folks who are married but they live in separate locations. One lives in Florida, one lives in Cook County. In order for the surviving spouse to benefit from this exemption, they must have been in Cook County when this happened. Also, this is new for folks who have a permanent, totally or 100% disabled. Per the VA, you no longer have to submit your application or provide this information to us, apply for this exemption annually ever again, if you are permanently, totally, or 100% disabled per the VA. So that's great news. Here's what your eligibility letter looks like. It can look different depending on if you print it off of e-benefits or not, or if you get it in the mail or not, or you go to a VA center and print it off or not. They can look different, but the information we're looking for is highlighted at the bottom. It is your disability percentage rate and the language letting us know if you're totally permanently disabled or not. In order to qualify, you must have a service-connected disability. Service-connected disability, and you must have been discharged, have honorable discharge when you left the Army or the Marines or the Navy or any form of the military, right? Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because there are different percentage rates, and based on your percentage rate, you get X removed off your tax bill. So if you're 30% to 49%, and that's your eligibility or disability rate, you get X removed off your tax bill depending on where you actually live within the county. If you are 50 to 69%, you get X removed off of your tax bill depending on where you live within the county. But if you are 70% to 100%, then you don't pay property taxes at all, as long as your home is worth less than $800,000. So let that sink in. If you have a service-connected disability of 70% or greater, and your home is worth less than $800,000, you do not pay property taxes at all. There is a policy change with this exemption. So in the past, we had folks who were, owned a six unit property, and they were living in one unit, and then they were trying to get the exemption on the entire building. If this is your scenario, you are only going to get the exemption on the unit you own. However, if you own your entire home, you get it on the entire property. I hope that makes sense. Returning veterans exemption. This one's cool. This one's unique because it is like a 2-year exemption discount, right? It is for the year you return and for 1 year later. This does not automatically renew, and to qualify, you must be in the armed forces, the National Guard, or the reserves. You must be returning from active duty with armed conflict involving the United States of America. And you must have owned and occupied that property at least January 1, 2023. The long time exemption. This is everyone's favorite exemption. This is for anyone who has a property that they have owned and occupied for 10 consecutive years. Now, what are the qualifications? You must have owned and occupied that property for 10 consecutive years. So that's January 1, 2013 through January 1, 2023. Your total household income has to be less than $100,000. And your equalized assessed value, so basically the value of your home, must have increased significantly within those 10 years. Now, folks who think they qualify, our office will mail out that application to you, or would have mailed out that application to you in the mail. Now, I like to sit up here and pretend that our office is perfect, right? We have we're batting 1,000. However, that is not true. So if you believe you qualify and for some reason you never received your application, I will show you at the end how to go ahead and reclaim those. The home improvement exemption, this is the only exemption you will never have to apply for, assuming everything is done correctly. So what happens is, in a perfect world, you want to add a second floor, you want to add a dormer, you want to increase the size of your property some way, somehow. What will happen is you'll hire someone to do this work for you. They will pull permits. Those permits will make it to downtown our office, and we will go ahead and see what's actually happening, right? So let's do some simple math. If your home is worth $100,000 and you are putting $75,000 worth of work into it, your home is now worth $175,000. But due to the home improvement exemption, that $75,000 that you're supposed to be taxed on, you won't be for 4 years. Anything greater than $75,000, so let's say you did $76,000 worth of work, you are responsible for that last $1,000. I hope that makes sense. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide over to a couple of slides, because unfortunately the deadline for exemptions was April 29th. So you can't actually apply for any exemptions at the moment. That's the bad news. The good news is later on, once the second installment exemption is mailed out, you can apply for what's called a certificate of error. A certificate of error is you saying, hey guys, for whatever reason, I never received my discounts. You can then go back in and recoup those funds in the form of a refund or an adjusted bill. It just depends on which timeline is. That's all. But I want to show you what your tax bill actually looks like. You get 2 tax bills every year. You get a blue one when it's cold outside, and you get a yellow one when it's warmer outside. The yellow one always has your discounts on it. The blue one will never have your discounts on it. So bottom left-hand corner of the yellow tax bill, the second installment tax bill, you'll read the words tax calculator, and there you'll see kind of the breakdown of your taxes and your values and your equalized assessed value, your market value, your assessed value, all those different numbers. But what I want to draw your attention to is the right side of that, where your discounts would be listed: your homeowner exemption, your senior citizen exemption, your senior freeze exemption, disabled persons exemption. All those would be listed here. Again, we do have something called the certificate of error program for folks who, for whatever reason, had no idea, or maybe they may have missed their discounts. You can go back as of right now to 2018. So we can, in theory, or no, it's a reality, go back 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, and 22. You can get 5 years, up to 5 years of discounts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. I would recommend that everyone look into this and make sure they're getting all of the discounts that they are able to get. In order to connect with us directly, you can contact us at 312-443-7550. You can connect with us on social media. So that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or you can make an appointment and connect with us directly at our downtown location, 118 North Clark, our Markham Courthouse location, 16501 South Kedzie Avenue, our Skokie Courthouse location, which is 5600 Old Orchard Road, room 149. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have a cell phone, you can open up your camera app, hover over this QR code that you see on the screen, and what will happen is it'll take you, it works, yes. It will take you to our our Linktree account. Here you can apply for exemptions, apply for appeals, sign up for our newsletter, stay involved, stay connected. Everything that we literally just talked about can be done from your cell phone or your iPad or online or in person using this QR code. So what I'm going to do now is, Will, if you can, we removed the presentation. Awesome. I'm going to jump into the questions and see what we have. So we have a question here from YouTube. It says, just sold my home that had the following exemptions: the homeowners, the senior, and the senior freeze. How long do I have to live in my new home to file for these exemptions? Awesome. So if you just moved in 2024, there's 2 answers to this question. In order to qualify for exemptions on your new property, the current property you just moved into must have been owner occupied before you moved into it. So for example, if I moved into a home today that was owned by somebody else and they occupied it, I would still get the discounts on my tax bill based on the previous owner. If I just bought a property today and it was not owner occupied, then I do not qualify for any exemptions next year, and I would have to wait until 2026 when we're paying 2025's taxes. Question number 2, another YouTube question. I love YouTube questions. When can the senior exemption for 2023 be applied for? So unfortunately, the deadline for that was April 29th, so you cannot apply right now. The window is closed. However, once your second installment tax bill is mailed out, you can apply for what's called a senior citizen, a 2023 senior citizen certificate of heir application. What will happen is, if you come in with your second installment tax bill, you can apply for this and you'll get what's called an adjusted bill. It's a brand new bill in your hand the same day, reflecting the discount. If for whatever reason you were unaware and you ended up paying this tax bill without your discount, then you can apply for a refund. Oh, we got a Facebook question. Do we need to reapply for the long-time homeowner exemption? Absolutely. That is something that you must apply for annually because it is income-based. But please know that our office will mail that application out to you if you do, in fact, qualify. We have another Facebook question. I will be 65 in 2025. Does this mean I can't file exemption until I turn 66? Don't think of it that way. Look at the year. So as of right now, to apply for the senior citizen exemption, you must have been born in 1958. So now from 1958, count up until you turn 65. That's how many years you have left. Are there any other questions? Let's see. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure everyone's aware that exemptions, the deadline to file your exemptions unfortunately closed April 29th. There is no way for you to apply for your exemptions at the moment. But once your tax bill is mailed out, you can apply for a certificate of heir, and I would recommend that you do that. That way you can get your discount or a refund depending on when you file for these things, and you can go home a happy camper. But if there is nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here with me today. It's lunchtime, kind of. My lunchtime. Literally could be anywhere else in the world. You could be doing anything else, and I just appreciate everyone being here. I see one more question. Do you know the approximate date for the second installment? I do not. Unfortunately, that is a different agency. That is the Cook County Treasurer's Office. They figure out when that is going to be mailed. You should just contact them directly, but I know it'll be sometime soon, in a couple of months probably. But there's no real date. You would have to contact their office. They are a different agency than ours. But thank you so much. I appreciate everyone's time. You guys be wise, be safe, be blessed. I love you all. Be a good neighbor. Share this with everyone. Share this on your Facebook. Share this, text it, send a smoke signal, whatever you need to do so that everyone is aware. Love you guys. You guys have a great day.